Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. I'm quite excited to try this. It's from a brewery that I've known about and heard about for probably the last 4 years, maybe 5 years, over in the States. And it's a beer from Clown Shoes. And this is their Galactic double IPA. It's coming in at 8% ABV and 86 IBUs. Apparently, that was information from Rate Beer. Not a site that I generally go looking for information, but yeah, on this occasion I wanted a commercial description, and they've got one. Untapped haven't got one, so this is the 2018 edition according to Untapped, canned on the 29th of October of 2018. I'm reviewing this kind of, well, now it's the 24th of January, so it's got a bit of age on it, but they're giving this beer a year's shelf life. Really? Look at that. Whatever. It's in a can, so that should help. But yeah, check out the artwork again. This figurine here is a hop staff wielding heroine patrols in karate kick mode in the heavens. Or through the heavens, shall I say. Her mission, cosmic combat to promote good beer. Nonsense, but the artwork is really cool. Yeah. So these guys are out of, is it Boston, Massachusetts? Yep. In the northeast of the United States of America. Galactic double IPA. Any other information? This was actually imported by Adnams plc, Solely Bay Brewery, Southwold, Suffolk. Exporter is Crafted Exports from Brooklyn, New York, USA. Brewed and packaged by Clown Shoes Beer, bloody blah, Boston, Massachusetts, USA. So yeah, is it a 550? Yeah, 550ml can, not the 330s that we get over here, the stingy studs. So my first beer from this brewery. So it's looking more kind of West Coast style, but from the East Coast of the States. A real kind of, you can tell just by looking at this beer that it's a nice kind of orange marmalade, kind of a slightly darker side of orange, I suppose. Didn't pour much of a head on that, kind of quite aggressive pour, very kind of light carbonation, you can see on that bit through the centre. Looking forward to this one. Let's get an aroma then. Oh wow, that's a really interesting, I mean, the can is what, so it's October the, what did I say it was? 29th October, November, December. It's just under 3 months then, because I can't work things out, so I need to use my fingers, all that sort of thing. Getting kind of a mango, subdued kind of mango, sweet, musky almost, tropical fruit notes, citrus, but all low key, which is a little bit concerning. Getting that kind of marmalade-y, as I mentioned in the colour, it's that kind of marmalade-y, jammy, kind of rind orange sort of thing. But it's not intense, it's not like... Yeah, we'll go in the taste. Excuse me, it's just out of the fridge, so maybe they're a little bit more subdued. It's a bit cold. Excuse me. Let's go for a taste. Cheers. Yeah. That bitterness really comes through at the back of the palate, but yeah, a nice kind of jammy, fruity beer. That marmalade, brine, bold, and it's still sticking around on the palate. Love it. It's one of them beers that I really do miss. I keep saying it every time I try one. I really do miss it. It's not randomly available like these days. It's all the New England style. It's got to be hazy, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Whereas just before I started reviewing beers, and probably the early part, maybe 6 months, it used to be all West Coast stuff. And then all this kind of hazy stuff come onto the market, and then it does change your palate. Because you drink what's available. What I do. I always seek out, if there's something like a West Coast kind of type style. I'll just make sure it is a West Coast type style. What are they saying on here? It just says Imperial double IPA on Untappd, but no commercial description. Apparently this is brewed with Galaxy hops, according to Rate Beer, which I very rarely use these days. Yeah, dry hopped with Galaxy hops. A clean malt backbone enhances the dank and luscious IPA flavours. So there you go. And that's pretty much what it is. If you like them kind of jammy notes in these beers with a big bitterness, this is the one. It's one of those beers that, you know, I every time I try one, I don't try them as often as I'd like to. I always enjoy them. Slightly more hazy, a bit more of a creamier head on that. White head, half a finger. Yeah, this is a very enjoyable beer. I think it's one of your taste buds and don't drink this style within a style of beer very often. It's your taste buds are very pleased with you, kind of thing. In terms of a rating, then I'm going to give this actual particular vintage, because there's different vintages on Untappd, which is, I always find that odd, because I know a few people actually they'll have this beer and then they'll check in every single different vintage of the same beer, and that adds up to like 5 or 6 different beers for one can of beer, which is a bit odd. And they've got massive kind of check-in totals because of that. Just saying. I really love this beer. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. So 4.25 on the Untappd scale. We'll go to the Untappd. Well, first of all, I'll give you the scores on Rate Beer, which I don't normally do, of course. They're giving it a 78 for the style and 95 overall, which I don't know how. I'm not even going to go into how many. 570 ratings, so pretty poor. That's overall for one. That's not a vintage. That's overall, which is you wait until you see Untappd. So Untappd then, it's had a total of 101,771 check-ins. 1,000 in the last month, which is probably a lot of people from the UK, and then it's had actual ratings wise of 75,500, and it's only coming in at 3.8, so that's quite a difference, I would say. And I've actually got the total counts here and that's been on Untappd since the April the 12th 2013. So getting onto Untappd for this year's vintage is on my phone, because I couldn't be bothered to. I've already got it all sorted out. It's only had 255 ratings, coming in at 3.85 for the Galactica 2018. So I'm like, why do Untappd do these vintages and stuff like that? Whatever. It doesn't matter really, but it's a way of people getting a different, you know, that I've got. If you try it every year, you get 5 check-ins for 5 different vintages and all that sort of shit. I don't care. Just drink the beer and shut up. Anyway, that's my review of this beer. It's wonderful. 8.5 out of 10 for me. 4.25. If you've had this one before, or this vintage, or whatever, ever, let me know what you think. This was from Beer 52, incidentally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.